Could you please analyze the losses of large US semiconductor equipment suppliers under the new regulations?
I think that there's a public perception of what's happening, and there's a public reporting. And so, if you're a publicly traded company, it's possible that in the like what has happened in the first week or so after this announcement, you'll see share price dropping because people are worried about the long-term revenue prospects. But I think that it's important to kind of remember two things. This is really only these rules are focused on certain advanced semiconductors and certain manufacturing equipment and supercomputers. So it's not all manufacturing equipment and it's not all ICs, right? So these companies can continue to sell products even in China that could be used in manufacturing non-advanced ICs. But the other thing to remember is that the U.S. has already had controls in place on semiconductor manufacturing. These are just new controls that target very specific kinds of advanced ICs. And so it's probably the case that in some ways their limitation on their ability to sell manufacturing equipment in China was in a way already factored into their business planning. I suspect, I don't know, because I don't personally advise any of these particular companies, but I suspect that they've already experienced licensing denials from the Department of Commerce when they've tried to send some of this equipment over to China. And so in some senses, this business line may not have been all that well developed yet. But I think taking a step back, U.S. companies, certain U.S. companies will be hurt by this, but this is a strategic choice that the U.S. government has taken. They wanted to be clear, I think, here with this set of rules that this is the new vector of where this is heading, and that you should probably be trying to recalibrate your revenue models to anticipate that you're not going to be able to sell that kind of equipment to China anytime in the near future. So that's kind of one part of this. But I think the more significant losses is not really, I think the more significant cost, and this is the one the US government may not be fully aware of, is really the disruption to supply chains as a result of this. To the extent there was advanced manufacturing going on or some aspect of the testing or processing that was going on in China, it's really going to chill that. At least in the near term, while companies figure out how to apply these rules and whether or not they can get authorizations for them. I mean, supply chains in this sector typically take 12 to 24 months to develop, right? This is very, very complex manufacturing
Yeah, it
process.
takes a long
You
time.
just can't shift it. You can't shift it in 6 months. And the U.S. government has issued a temporary general license for 6 months, but that's nowhere near enough time for companies that have supply chains into China to relocate to other places.